My name's Kirby Lewis. I have grown up in West Virginia. I worked as a commercial artist for many years. And now I work in oils and acrylics and tactile art for wall sculptures and things. Back in 2012, I had a very persistent cough and cold symptoms. And so one night, I am lying in bed with my wife. She's sound asleep. I begin to cough and heave and try to get air. And I sit up and I grab my chest. And when I grabbed my chest, I felt a lump. And it was at that point, almost instantly, and I don't know why, but I knew that I had breast cancer. When I approached the doctor, he said, well, you don't have breast cancer. Men don't get breast cancer. I said, well, I want to have some tests run. And they kept coming back inconclusive, inconclusive, inconclusive. And finally, then after an open biopsy, it was determined that, yes, you do have breast cancer. My wife was beside me, and the first words out of her mouth was, how are we ever going to plan on anything ever again in our life? And I said, well, honey, what did we do yesterday? Really, I say that breast cancer saved my life, and the big reason is because in the pre-op testing, they discovered that I had to have open heart surgery. So not only did they address the cancer, but then 3 months later, they had to address an open heart surgery. In March of 2016, it was kind of ironic. I was going in for some very routine cosmetic surgery, and in the process of that, they did a routine series of x-rays. And lo and behold, my lungs suddenly lit up with cancer nodes everywhere. So the cancer had returned. It had metastasized into both lungs and into my spine. It was a little alarming, to say the least. I have a very strong faith. I guess I cling to that as a way to deal with things. I have an oncologist who had seen me for the 2012, and she said, well, we need to start you on a regimen, and we'll do that for a 15-week period. On November the 4th of 2016, she calls me. I had just had scans done, so you have that little bit of anxiety that goes with that. And she says, I've got good news and I've got great news. And I said, okay, well, tell me, you know what? And she said, well, the good news is you got into the trial. She said, the great news is she says, I don't think they're gonna want you. And I'm like, how is that great news? And she said, because you have no signs of cancer. And I'm like, how does this happen? So I was no evidence of disease. For me, I didn't make it to 36 months. I made it to 34 months. And then I had a return now in my lung. And of course, it's progression. Anybody that's metastatic, sure, we would love a cure. But what we really want is to stop progression. It's as good as gold for us. I started a new drug, a daily oral medicine that I take for 21 days, and then I'm off 10 days. It's Ibrance. I seem to be able to handle it well. My scans show no progression, so they're stable. And like I said, if you can have that, what more can you ask for? Life doesn't end when you get a terminal diagnosis. I'm still here. And I hope that I'm doing something productive. I hope that by being here today, that this is going to have an impact. And if that's not living, I don't know what is.